Hello and welcome. Today we are diving into a really powerful idea from psychology called human agency. Think of it as a framework for understanding the fundamental tools we all have to actively shape our own lives and even the world around us. So let's open up this toolkit and see what's inside. It all really starts with this one big question that people have been wrestling with forever. Are we just products of our environment, passively shaped and pushed around by forces outside of our control? Or are we something more? Are we the actual architects, the producers of our own lives? Well, the brilliant psychologist Albert Bandura had a very clear answer to that question. He came up with the theory of human agency, and it gives us this incredible framework for understanding our active role in our own development, our own adaptation, and even our own self-renewal. So what is human agency exactly? Well, at its core, it's our ability to intentionally make things happen. And that's a huge shift in perspective, right? It means we're not just passive passengers in life. We are the agents of our experience. We're the ones using our minds and our actions as tools to chase what gives our lives meaning. Okay, so if we're all agents, what's in our toolkit? This is where it gets really interesting. Bandura identified 4 core features of agency. I kind of like to think of them as our 4 agentic superpowers. And the best part is we all have them. And here they are: intentionality, forethought, self-reactiveness, and self-reflectiveness. Now, these 4 things don't work in isolation. They all work together, allowing us to actively take part in our own lives. So let's break down what each one of these really means. First up, we've got intentionality. Now, this isn't just wishing or hoping for something to happen. It's a proactive commitment. It's a plan. For instance, let's say you decide to learn a new skill. The intention isn't some vague wish. It's the actual plan to sign up for the course, to block out time to practice, to find people to work with. This power to start actions from scratch, that's the heart of personal agency. Next up is forethought. This is our amazing ability to look ahead. Think about it. A future event doesn't exist yet, so it can't cause us to do anything right now. But by picturing that future in our minds, we turn it into this incredibly powerful motivator for our present actions. We set goals, we anticipate what might happen, and we guide what we do today to create the tomorrow we want. Okay, so you've made a plan, you're thinking about the future, but how do you actually stay on track? Well, that's where self-reactiveness comes in. This is our internal engine. We don't just sit around and wait for a pat on the back or a slap on the wrist. Nope. We motivate and regulate our own actions by constantly checking in. How am I doing compared to my goals? This creates these powerful self-incentives, like pride and satisfaction, that keep us moving. And the 4th and final superpower is self-reflectiveness. We aren't just doers, we're also self-examiners. This is our ability to kind of step back and reflect on how we're doing, to think about our thinking. We can look at our motivations, our values, the whole meaning of what we're doing. We're essentially double-checking our own operating system and making adjustments as we go. And this brings us to what might just be the most critical piece of this entire puzzle: self-efficacy. As Bandura himself said, our belief in our own capabilities is the absolute foundation of agency. It makes sense, right? If you don't genuinely believe you can get things done through your actions, what's the incentive to even try or to keep going when things get tough? So we've got this incredible personal toolkit. But of course, none of us live on an island. We operate in this really complex social world, which is why Bandura pointed out that there are actually 3 different ways we can put our agency to use. First, there's personal agency. That's you, acting directly to make something happen. Pretty straightforward. But sometimes the smartest way to be an agent is to work through other people. That's called proxy agency, like when we rely on an expert or a representative to act for us. And finally, there's collective agency. This is the amazing power of a group working together to achieve something that no single person ever could on their own. Now, it's super important to remember that relying on others isn't a failure of agency. Not at all. Using proxy agency is often a really strategic choice. We do it when other people have more expertise, when we're short on time, or honestly, when we just want to avoid the heavy burdens that can come with trying to control everything ourselves. It lets us focus our personal energy where it'll have the biggest impact. And that brings up a really key point about collective agency. It's not just the sum of a few individuals' beliefs. Bandura called it an emergent, group-level property. Basically, it's this powerful, shared belief in the group's collective power to get results. It's about people acting in coordination, not some kind of mystical group mind.
All right, this brings us to our final section. And honestly, this might be the most profound implication of human agency. It's about our role in shaping not just our own individual lives, but the actual evolution of our entire species.
So this gets into a classic debate. Are we locked into our biology? Is our culture on a tight leash, completely controlled by our genes, like some would argue? Or is Bandura right? Does our biology just give us potential, not commands? And is culture on a much looser leash, allowing for this huge range of human possibility? Well, the evidence seems pretty clear that humans have been selected for learnability and plasticity, not for having fixed behaviors. In other words, our greatest evolved trait is our incredible capacity to learn and adapt. Our biological hardware is precisely what gives us the software, our ability to think, plan, and self-regulate, that lets us create our own worlds. And here is the truly mind-blowing part. Through our actions, through our agency, we invent technologies, we create cultures, we build entirely new environments to live in. And those creations, they become powerful new selection pressures that actually influence the future direction of our biological evolution. It's a feedback loop. We aren't just the products of evolution, we are active agents of it. So, that leaves us with one final, powerful thought. This isn't just some abstract theory. This whole framework describes a set of tools, intentionality, forethought, self-reactiveness, and self-reflectiveness that you have in your possession right now. You have the Agent's Toolkit. The only question left is, how are you going to use it?